Have you ever seen this picture before? If you're like me, I've come across this photo online a number of times, and I've always wondered, how did this contraption work? Let's take a look together. The iron lung story. In the summer of 1931, a young man named John Emerson was working on a machine that looked like something out of science fiction. A long metal cylinder with a person's head sticking out of it. The machine became known as the iron lung. It was designed to breathe for people who couldn't breathe on their own. Imagine you're lying inside of a giant metal tube. Your body is sealed within the chamber, while your mouth and nose remain exposed to normal atmospheric pressure. A pump repeatedly changes the pressure inside of the chamber. When the pressure drops, the pressure outside of your lungs becomes lower than the pressure inside your lungs. Air is naturally then pushed into your lungs. That is inhalation. When the pressure rises again, the pressure surrounding your body increases. Your chest is then compressed, forcing air out of your lungs. That's exhalation. So the iron lung essentially creates artificial breathing by repeatedly doing this method. Negative pressure, inhale. Positive pressure, exhale. Repeat. This is called negative pressure ventilation. Modern ventilators generally work differently. Instead of changing the pressure around your entire body, they typically push air directly into your lungs through an airway. But why did people need one? Polio was a viral disease. Most infections were mild, but some cases attacked the nervous system. And in those very severe cases, the virus could attack the motor neurons that control muscles. And if it damaged the nerves controlling the diaphragm and other breathing muscles, the patient could simply become unable to breathe. The iron lung stepped in to keep that person alive. The machine was one of the most important medical technologies of its era, but it was also incredibly limiting. A patient might spend days, weeks, months, even years. Some people lived inside of iron lungs for decades. One of the famous was Paul Alexander, an American who contracted polio in 1952 at the age of 6. He was paralyzed from the neck down and spent much of his life using the iron lung. A quick little fun fact, he did learn how to breathe on his own for very short periods of time using something called a frog breathing technique, in which to use the muscles in his mouth and throat to force small amounts of air into his lungs. He eventually became a lawyer and an author, passing away in 2024 after living almost 70 years with the effects of polio. And then the iron lung almost disappeared. It became obsolete because polio itself was brought under control. The development of effective polio vaccines transformed the situation. The number of people suffering respiratory paralysis also fell. The enormous rooms filled with giant iron lungs gradually became a thing of the past. Like, comment, and sub for more interesting stories.